I don't know about you, Bob, but I like keeping my money where I can see it. Unfortunately, traditional, quote, big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money too. After years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up from crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and quote, free perks that actually cost me more in the long run, and I switched to Mint Mobile.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. That's the best thing about Mint Mobile. You can use your own phone and bring your number with you to Mint Mobile. So, ditch your overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/who. That's mintmobile.com/who. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 each month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
You will dream it.
Yo, they wanna know. Hey.
Ne-Yo.
Hey.
Ne-Yo.
Come on.
Hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And the worst show I've ever seen in my entire life premiered on Sunday night, and I watched it this morning, and it made me an unhappier, less productive, more miserable, sadder, more existentially mournful and dreadful person.
Yeah.
The Baldwins on TLC.
I watched it last night before I went to bed, and I would say it caused the worst dreams of my life. I think like everyone in my family died in my dreams, like one by one.
It was
Truly,
I
kept waking up being like, ah! And then I'd go back to sleep and like another family member would be the subject of like a terrible accident.
Well, see, I slept terribly last night, but it was because I knew I would have to wake up and watch it.
The Baldwins. No,
I had read Catherine Van Arondonk. I had read Catherine Van Arondonk's piece on Vulture about how bad it was and how grim it is. I think her headline was "The Baldwins is grimmer than you imagined." It's grimmer than you imagined, even after reading a piece called "The Baldwins is grimmer than you imagined." It is horrendous.
Is it TLC styled like is it knowing that it's grim, or is it not knowing that it's grim, or is it what? I'm kind of interested in how it is grim. Like we know the story. We know that it is grim. It is face value a man with 7 children who is accused of murder, manslaughter. And that's how it could be grim. But then when you're watching it, it's grim in a way that is unexpected, kind of.
You and I used to be more collaborative, and I'd say we'd argue, we'd discuss, we'd have some accommodation about what we were going to do, how we were going to live our life. And then one day you kind of changed. And no matter what I said, you were like, no, here's what we're going to do. And you changed.
No, I would say, no.
But go ahead.
So, yes, I agree that that's your reality of it. But what I used to do is I would say yes, and then I would do whatever I wanted, and I would just keep it from you.
You gaslight me.
No. Alec and I are 26 years apart. It's something that people focus on a lot. I don't believe that age is just a number. He was very different when he was 26 years younger, and I probably will be very different when I am 26 years older. And I think if you respect that, and you see your person where they are, see it for what it is, and then see if it works. And obviously it does for us.
It was grim in the way that it inserted their like profound objective misery. Like the way that it doesn't just reference the Helena Hutchins death on the filming of Rust once.
It's
like at the beginning. I thought they would get it out of the way and then like have a very awkward, clumsy, painful transition back to their like crazy life with all their children, but it just keeps bringing it up in a way that's like, oh my god, this is what the show is. I didn't realize this is what the show is about. It is very actively about the fallout from this woman's death.
It's knowingly and reminding you that like this is a man with 7 children, and like that is why he needs to be found not responsible for this or something. Like it is almost feels like this active piece of kind of public defense, like he's gonna have his he has his defense in court, right? But then it's like it almost feels like this is the companion piece defense where we're reminded over and over again that this man has 7 children, you know, and like they need him desperately, even though they're kind of like ripping him life from limb, like, you know, that he's fully like like
he's like, this is misery, having a lot of kids is crazy.
The part where they're like, Alec
also
has OCD, and you know, most people say they have OCD, but he really has OCD. Imagine having OCD if you have 7 kids and 7 dogs.
It tries to work in sort of like, look how kooky our relationship is. Look how crazy it is to have this many kids with all of my like personal issues. Oh, by the way, someone's dead and I'm on trial. Like it doesn't handle this well at all. It is so clumsy and weird.
I will say that they do the thing where they kind of do a checklist of all the issues that people have had with them, and they kind of check them off one by one in the first episode, which I appreciate. They're like, we're going to talk about our accent. We're going to talk about the manslaughter. We're going to talk about the age gap. We're going to talk about the kids. The one thing they didn't talk about was Ireland. The one thing I was like, are we going to talk about Ireland? Is Ireland going to come up? Like, no Ireland.
Yes. So in Catherine's piece, it says Ireland is never mentioned.
No.
That is textually true. She's never mentioned. But at the beginning of the episode, when it's like sort of showing his life and showing clips from, I presume, future episodes, there's a part where Ireland is filmed. They're having dinner with Ireland. So I think that Ireland's going to show up in a later episode. So Ireland is the child he had with Kim Basinger,
right?
The one that he famously called a pig in that
phone call
voicemail from 15 years ago, from a very, very long time ago.
Kind of the OG Alec Baldwin outburst that kind of started the little dig at his public persona a little bit. Was because
like,
it was
he's an angry, mean man.
Well, it was during their divorce. There was a lot of tension between him and his ex. I think it was like, I'm not excusing it, he sucks, but like it was one of those things where clearly it's this like, it was like from that era. It was like him being like, how dare you take your mother's side, essentially. I think a lot of it was that.
You pig. It was a conversation about Kim Basinger, but in complaining about Kim Basinger, he was also berating his daughter.
Yes.
And I think that people have rightfully not ever forgotten that. It's referenced sort of, but because they show like a well-shot image of Ireland in this promo, I think that she's going to show up. I think there's going to be an episode where it's like, no, I have actually mended my relationship with my other daughter, my adult daughter, whose age makes sense given my age, and not the like baby that they only refer to as baby. They only refer to Ilaria without an H as baby in this show, which is so strange.
Let's focus on her though. Like, he is not interesting. She is the interesting character.
God, I don't even want to call her interesting because it makes the show seem like it's valuable, and I think the show is quite valueless. They do try to not even explain away, just sort of be like, we don't understand what people's deal is with this accent. She's just like, no, I grew up partly in Spain. I grew up in a bilingual household. They never, she gives herself excuses for the weird accent controversy that they like mention. But she doesn't explain her origin. She doesn't say like, no, I grew up in Spain. She's just like, no, I grew up in a bilingual household and my family lives in Spain now. And it's like, yeah, but aren't you from Boston and your name is Hillary? Like, and then he'll bring up like, oh, you're doing the Spanish thing again, Ilaria. Like, I can't tell what you're saying when you speak in the Spanish cadence. It's like, and her accent comes and goes. It's weird. They try to explain stuff away without actually explaining anything.
Of course not.
Like, I was seizing up the entire time because the whole time you watch it, you're just like, I shouldn't be watching this. And then the moment you get past any of the darkness and you think they're done mentioning the darkness, you realize the darkness is the whole show.
What ultimately is funny is it's a portrait of somebody who has 7 young children, and it looks like absolute. It's as you can imagine, like somebody who is insisting, and I'm sure this is his truth. Oh my God, I love my children. I'm surrounded by so much love. This is such a miracle. I can't believe we have 7 kids. But then, literally, as he's saying that, an entire Lego set is falling upon him, and 4 children are scratching him from behind. And they're screaming and yelling. And to get in the car to go to the Hamptons, they have to plan a seating chart for the cars. And then it takes them 5 hours to get into the car seat and everyone's screaming and crying. It's like, it's so funny to have a show, even if this wasn't Alec Baldwin, it would be the funniest mess to watch because it's literally just a couple where a guy is in his 70s and a woman is in her 40s and they have 7 young children.
60s.
Whatever it is. Yeah, like these, what's funny about it to me is that it's a premise that even if he wasn't Alec Baldwin would be a TLC goldmine because having 7 children is
age gap relationship with 7 kids.
Right.
Age gap relationship, 7 children, on paper, funny. And they're rich. So they have a big, what is objectively a huge apartment in New York City, which is at the same time not big enough. They keep saying like, we have a 5-bedroom apartment in New York City. They combined apartments to make the biggest fucking apartment they could get in New York City. And yet they are out of space and they have to drive 3 hours to the Hamptons to have space. But the only way to do that is to create a seating chart that ends up with Alec having no children in his car, but a bunch of cats. So there is comedy there. There's like actual comedy there. But the show keeps reminding you that like, oh no, the only reason the show exists is because of like an extremely sad thing that happened.
Instead of having him just do something prestigious or really good where he's like good in it, they're doing the other route, which is like the reality TV. Please like understand how like kooky and fun our lives are, which is like backfiring, almost immediately backfiring upon them. You know what I mean? Like
immediately.
Right. And the fact that, and I have to say, the minute that TLC got their claws into it, they should have known that this was going to be like a circus oddity show. Like there is no way that this was going to redeem them in any sort of kind of public eye way because it's like, it's TLC. I don't really understand how that like they let that happen.
A few weeks ago when we watched the flip off, the Christina Hawk and Tarek El Moussa show, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm never watching this again. And I haven't. I haven't turned it back on. I never will. I have no interest. I'm actually interested in watching 1 to 2 more episodes of this because I don't know where it goes from here. You know, like, what's like, it almost works as like a short form documentary where I'm like, wow, these people have a crazy life and I'm not envious at all. This looks like absolute fucking hell on earth. But now they're in the Hamptons and what else is going to happen there? Like, are other famous people going to pop up? Like, is Ireland going to show up? I am intrigued to see if Ireland's relationship with Alec Baldwin has been sort of mended. I don't know.
Well, what it seems like is what the show is, what we thought it was just going to be like a crazy day in a life for every episode. But what they're doing is they're actually introducing the plot point of him being in court. So like that is surprising. Also, never forget when we were reached out by the producers of this show to use a clip of our show in a segment that I believe was in the season premiere where they had, you know, a little montage of people discussing them. And I was like, I know exactly. And it's funny as we talked about this and I was like, I know exactly where we're going to be used. And there's no way that we're letting them use a clip.
they not to shade a producer who, to their credit, was just doing their job.
Yeah.
You're speaking English in a Spanish cadence, which is always perilous for me. Slow down just a kiss. I can't understand you.
Okay, we need to talk about Hilaria Baldwin's accent. People are finding clips where she goes in and out of her accent. It's getting people riled.
Eduardo, Paulo Lucas. Edu. Tatito, ¿dónde están los gatos?
I'm raising my kids to be bilingual. I was raised bilingual. My family, all my nuclear family now lives over in Spain.
Okay, entonces siéntate aquí.
No, it looks so nice. Are you kidding me? I want to teach my kids pride in speaking more than one language. I think just growing up and speaking 2 languages is extremely special. I love English. I also love Spanish. And when I mix the 2, it doesn't make me inauthentic. When I mix the 2, that makes me normal.
They reached out to us in every possible way they could have reached out to us, and we kept ignoring it. And then finally Lindsay was like, we're not interested, thank you so much, sorry, bye. Because they were like, can we use your clip, can we use your clip, can we use your clip?
God. But I would say, but it's like funny because I do think that I wouldn't have wanted them to use the clip because I don't think what's making people which they did not use what made people actually laugh so much about her accent. It wasn't her having this little funky
Como se dice
accent.
cucumber, they didn't say it.
It's that she literally was acting like English was not her first language. Like that's the issue. It's like, it's not, they even devalued the kind of joke of the fact that she was this kind of, no one cares that she's bilingual. Like That's cool. Like, it's cool to be bilingual.
No one cares that you're like raising your children in a bilingual household. God, I wish I had been raised in a bilingual household. That's sick. That's
but that's
great.
what I'm saying. Like, what the show does is say, like, oh, so she speaks Spanish. What's wrong with being like bilingual? I want my kids to be bilingual. My parents live in Spain. It's like, no, that's not the issue. The issue is that, like, your name was Hillary, then you started going by Hilaria, and then you started essentially going on in the public speaking in a Spanish accent and being like, como se dice cucumber. So that's the issue, is that you were like rewriting your studied abroad once history into an entire kind of like thing where you were from Spain.
Yeah. And that is not referenced at all. Like,
and all your kids are named like Rafa and Romeo, and like Alec Baldwin is as white as toast. Like, it's just not, it's just a very...
Well, no, he's as white as just sliced bread.
Yeah. Sorry, he's not even toasted.
If he's toasted...
They didn't put him in the toaster. You're right. He's not even in the toaster.
He's not in the toaster. He's cleaning the toaster. The toaster's very dirty. He has to clean the toaster.
Oh my God.
He's not in the toaster.
So that's what's annoying, is like, I think what's interesting is they use these clips, but it makes the media sound like blowing it out of proportion, which is what her prerogative
Which is what the point of this is. It's to make it all seem like a non-issue. And it's like, no, you're rewriting history. This is not the way this all worked out.
Can you name all their kids?
It's a wretched experience.
I bet I could. Can you name all their kids? Carmen.
Carmen.
Eduardo. Rafa. Oh my
Ilaria,
God. Ilaria is the
one.
baby.
But I don't know the other two. No, I don't know the other two. Carmen, Maria, Ilaria, Rafael, Leonardo, Romeo, and Eduardo.
So when you're watching White Lotus on Sunday nights, know that I'll be watching the Baldwins. When you're gagging about the twist on White Lotus, I'll be screaming at the twist on the Baldwins on TLC.
Ireland showed up, and they have a good relationship.
You're like, did you see what happened on White Lotus? I'm like, did Ireland Baldwin showed up? Because she is on the Baldwins tonight.
I'm just waiting for an episode of the Baldwins where like they're near a window in their beautiful like Manhattan apartment with the staircase in the center of it, like a spiral staircase in the center of it. And then suddenly like a little red laser dot appears on Alex's forehead. And they're like, oh no, Kim's across the street.
Oh my God.
So we have 7 children, 6 animals, 2 nannies.
2 parents.
2 parents. Or sorry, so 17 beings.
Okay, that's not helpful. I've had to go from like, stop it, be quiet, no. And now it's like, I'd appreciate it if you discontinued that activity.
Okay, I have my seating chart, and I'm gonna just grab my
So
stuff.
what is the seating chart? Tell me, who's in the car with me?
No one.
Nobody.
Let's move on to other stories that are not about the Baldwins. Tom Felton, Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
But he's not. This is a lie. This is a lie.
Well, I was going to say, he's not a race car driver.
No, they're doing like
He's
a celebrity spawn race car thing. That's why I almost deleted this, because I'm like, it's sponsored content. So he has not become a race car driver.
Well, it's a PSA. We're teaching our audience that when you see that Tom Felton, aka Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter movies, is now a race car driver, or someone tells you that in person, you say, no, he's not becoming a race car driver. He's doing a one-time race in Miami that's all about promoting like a new electric car that's very fast.
Formula E Evo sessions. And guess who's also doing this race car sponsored content? That's right, Brooklyn Beckham and Lucien Laviscount. Remember him? And Vinny Hacker. I mean, I just bolded the names of people that we've definitely mentioned before. There are other people too, but it's like influencers and actors who are driving a car. They're driving a car on a track.
They're driving a very fast electric car.
Impression of a Formula E car.
Yet to hear him off the starting line, but I think it's more like a...
You should ignore this. Thomas Felton has become a race car driver. World famous actor Tom Felton joins Envisioned Racing for ground. Okay, see, I'm already mad at it. It's trying to fool you.
It's not real.
Here's what I'm focused on. Rachel Ray's podcast has reached a head where...
You know that, Lindsay's, a topic is really special to the show when it's just something we texted about organically. Like, you texted me this at like midnight one night, and we're like, oh my God, Rachel Ray talked about her podcast. At the Mike's Amazing Burger Bash Festival.
The girlies are like, where is Hawk Tuah Girls podcast? But the true heads are like, where is Rachel Ray's podcast? Because we rarely at this point will talk about a celebrity launching a podcast unless it really makes us laugh. And we did talk about Rachel Ray launching a podcast because she kept on using it and talking about stuff that got her in the news in a funny way, where she'd be like something about her husband or like whatever, and it'd get picked up, and it was like, what is this all from? And it's from Rachel Ray's podcast. But then all of a sudden, her podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, stopped taping, as you predicted. You're like, this will last like what, 6 months? Less than 6 months.
It was releasing weekly episodes from the end of October to the beginning of December, and then it stopped. It just stopped. So it's been over 2 months, and she was having like, oh, I thought it would be like all celebrity chefs because like Anne Burrell was on it, Jacques Pepin was on it, but then it's also like Harlan Coben, Billy Crudup, Jenny Mollen. It's like,
oh yeah,
kind of
her
a
Billy
random
Crudup
grab
episode
bag of
had got picked up a lot. It had stuff.
Yeah, no, it did.
But what's funny is then it dropped off. And so she did this event, the South Beach, the SOBWFF, the South Beach
SOBEWFF,
the South Beach Wine and Food Festival. And they were talking about her podcast. And she was like,
I'm pissed off. She was like, I'm fucking pissed.
This is like too real. I beat all of my team up about it all the time, she replied when asked about what fans can expect more episodes. When fans can expect more episodes. I've already done several that haven't been released yet. The challenge is waiting for their asses to put it on air. She added, I'm pissed at how long it takes them to put it up. That's all I'm pissed at. And then the shady bitches at People reached out to the producers or something happened where then they
reached out to the producers for sure.
The producers for Ray's podcast tell People that the team took a holiday break and the episodes will be launching in a few more weeks.
The team took a holiday break. They said, listen, people, we were just on vacation. It has been 2 months though.
It's been 2 months. And also like, I'm sorry, you can put episodes out and then go on vacation. Like, Rachel Ray's podcast is not topical.
You can bank the episodes, edit them, go on vacation, and then release them as though you're not on vacation. So it sounds like they're organic.
Sounds like we're taking the side of Rachel. We're like, get to work, get to work.
I am taking Rachel Ray's side. She probably has, like, to know, you never hear this side of the story where she's like, no, I've recorded the episodes. I've done my part of the deal. You know?
It's crazy she's being so real about this. It's crazy she's throwing her podcast producers under the bus. If I was them, I would throw the episodes into the trash. I would say, fuck you, beach. And I would say, honey, when you get back from the Sobe Woof, the Sobe Woof, the
Sobe Woof,
the Sobe WWFF.
Everyone calls the South Beach Wine and Food Festival the Sobe Woof.
The Sobe Woof. When you get back from hosting Mike's Amazing Burger Bash, which took place on the first night of the 4-day festival, you will never have a podcast again.
No. Imagine saying all of this at the Mike's Amazing Burger Bash presented by Schweed and Sons, hosted by Rachel Ray at the Sobe Woof.
Also, what's crazy is that from the Sobe Woof, this is what got picked up by People. Rachel Ray admits that what she's pissed about with her podcast and which parts are the most rewarding. Exclusive. What?
It had nothing to do with Sobe or Woof. It had everything to do with podcasts.
But I'm just like, I feel like we're the number one and only, and literally only people who would care what Rachel Ray's, the like goings-ons of Rachel Ray's podcast. This is crazy to me that this is actual bigger news to anyone other than us. Like, she must have literally said nothing that they had to talk about her running a podcast. Rachel Ray is dishing on the highs and lows of running a podcast. It's like, what? That's the poll? The rewarding part is she says, I love the concept of asking the world's greatest chefs to come put their work on a bun. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's what she likes about hosting the Burger Bash. Oops. At Sobe. Woof.
Okay, so she loves having celebrated actors and people I've known for a real long time, but that I never got to spend more than 4 or 5 minutes with. It's amazing. Okay, so she's saying having conversations with people is fun. The problem is dealing with fucking producers who don't take those conversations and put them on the RSS feed.
Well, I mean, she's saying you have one job, put my dumb podcast on the podcast. Put my podcast on the podcast. And she's saying, where's the podcast? She's saying, where's the podcast?
Advice to everyone who wants to start a podcast? A, don't. B, if you simply have to, learn to edit so you can take control of your release schedule. Learn to do it yourself.
Rachel Ray, if I was running your podcast, I would never let it lapse. I'm just saying,
no.
The curse of the celebrity podcast remains intact. These people can't get it together.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Ray, and this is I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. This is a podcast about drive, what fuels people that love hard work, and what we can learn from one another.
When's the last time we talked about Psy? When's the last time I was going to say when's the last time I thought about Psy, but it actually was recently because I found out that he's hosting that show with Megan.
Yeah, but did you find it out because of this news item, or did you know before?
I found out I saw like a story about it a couple of weeks ago, but that was the first time I thought about Psy in a very long time.
He's hosting a show on, what is it, Netflix? No, what is
Apple
it?
TV.
On Apple TV with Megan Thee Stallion. That's like, actually the concept is like pretty cool. It's like,
concept is good.
Yeah, what is it? It's like Korean, it's like K-pop singers. What is it? It's like, in each episode, Western icons reimagine one of their biggest hits, collaborating with top-tier K-pop idols to deliver spectacular battle performances with live soul-based audience picking the winner of the best new K-pop song. So the idea is like to K-pop a song where you like take like an American song or like an American singer, and then you like turn it into like a K-pop type performance, which is like a extravaganza.
It's very clearly like Apple trying to get into the music competition game with something like different. And this does sound different and pretty fun.
So why we're talking about him, because this headline made me laugh. And I'm like, we'll get there. At first you might be like, that's whatever. Gangnam Style singer Psy apologizes for his weight loss. After Psy posted side-by-side photos showing off his recent weight loss, the Gangnam Style singer apologized to fans that were not particularly thrilled about the change. I was like, okay, so did he release like a statement being like, yeah, I got skinny, but like move on, whatever. How was this done? And then I clicked on his Instagram, and it's the weirdest thing where people are commenting like, why'd you get skinny? Like, what's going on? You don't look like yourself, whatever. And he is replying to every single comment that says that with sorry, smiley face, sorry, smiley face, sorry, smiley face, sorry, smiley face. This must be, I can't imagine he's doing this himself. It's like it's literally days of work.
It took a while to start finding comments he didn't reply to.
No, he replied to every single comment that said, you look skinny.
He posted this a week ago. So in those first days, he was responding to everything.
It's not even just one post. It's multiple posts.
And he's like, sorry, smiley face. Sorry, smiley face. And there'll be comments that are like very direct as to like, I don't even recognize you anymore, because you have to click translate because most of them are in Korean.
Yeah.
But some of them will just be like, who are you? And they'll be like, sorry. Sorry.
My side,
sorry.
Not this guy. Sorry.
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 To frame that as Psy apologizes for weight loss is also very funny.
Somebody wrote, come to Brazil. We love you, admire you just the way you are. Brazil's like, we'll have him. We'll take him. Brazil's like, we don't care if he's fat or skinny. We love this guy.
God, leave it to Brazil to just be like,
how
full of love.
How beautiful.
Love
Lost
and support.
weight and became even younger. Come to Brazil. Brazil literally is like, we won't judge you. Come to Brazil. Brazil's sliding in to be like, Korea doesn't want you. Come to Brazil.
Mm-hmm. His weight was always a subject of conversation. Like from the moment like Gangnam Style became famous, like people were like, oh, he doesn't look like a typical pop star.
Then I went back and I was reading about this. It came up in an old profile of him. New York Times wrote a profile of him in 2022.
This one.
But what was interesting was, I guess, Gangnam Style, Gangnam, where he's from, the idea of a man from Gangnam is like not him. Like he's not a typical guy. So that was kind of the joke that we as Americans didn't get. We just liked the song because we didn't understand.
I didn't realize until this
there was a meta commentary about this guy having this song called Gangnam Style because he himself didn't embody the actual Gangnam Style. So it was kind of, it's supposed to be kind of like cheek, like a winky, like a wink.
It was for the locals, and we're not the locals.
It was for the locals, but also because the song was so catchy, it didn't matter. So like it got huge. But the idea was that he never, quote, despite or perhaps because of his unapologetic iconoclastic ways, it's like people. But that's what I'm saying. I think they're sensitive to his weight loss because that's his original. That's how they saw him as. That was kind of what people loved him for. Was he was this unapologetic guy.
Well, we don't like for our celebrities to change in any way.
We don't
physically,
like for our celebrities to change.
Emotionally.
We don't like. Did you know
in terms of number of children?
Did you know that in Gangnam they have a huge statue of two hands doing the Gangnam Style dance?
Didn't know until someone put this in the doc. It's this beautiful bronze statue that is at least like...
It's huge.
It's at least 10 feet tall.
At least.
And probably 30 feet wide. And it's two connected forearms doing the sort of like saddle dance that he does, like when he's like sort of like yeehaw thing.
One hand goes over the other and you kind of like rock them or wave them up and down. Yeah.
A wavy rock. Fuck the bean. I don't like if you had door number 1 the bean, door number 2 Gangnam Style statue, which one would you rather pose in front of?
100% bean. The bean is breathtaking. What are you talking about? The bean is my Michelangelo. Like that is the bean is the highest form of art for me. Is the bean.
I had the most baffling experience with. I met someone over the weekend who is from Canada and was in town and was trying to think of things to do with their days off, and some friends and I were trying to well, you do this, you can do this, you can do, what about this? You can do this on Saturdays. The weather's supposed to be nice. And he was like, I really want to go to the Vessel. Is the Vessel open again? And I was sort of like, that's crazy. And I didn't even know how to respond. I was like, I think it's open again, but wow, I didn't know people actually come here to see the Vessel. He wants to go to the Vessel, and who am I to sort of deprive him from the joy that he's seeking, you know?
The big gyro.
I want to be famous.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Lindsay, this is actually so... I actually have to let her know that I'm doing this right now because she texted me 7 minutes ago, feeling compelled to tell you that I used the WHO code to save on my Squarespace. Bless you.
Oh,
that's from our friend
God.
Kelly. Our friend Kelly just launched a Squarespace and said she used our code to get the discount because she knows that we're serious when we say Squarespace is so important. Our website will always be Squarespace. Truly.
Whether we have this ad or not, to be honest with you,
I don't know what else to tell you. It's great. We get contact forms. We can see where listeners are coming from. It's so easy to update everything on our website. It automatically feeds in the latest episode of the podcast. It does everything you want a website to do so easily, so easy to turn on and off pages. I don't know. You know how websites work, and Squarespace makes it impossible to mess up. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, just like our friend did. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/who to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Hello, hooligans. We want to introduce you to a new podcast called Campus Files. It's a weekly series that dives into some of the wildest scandals that have taken place within American colleges and universities. We know colleges attract some of America's brightest minds, so why do the most absurd things happen there? From rigged admissions to sports scandals to Greek life drama, Campus Files exposes the stories you won't hear on the campus tours. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts. I love my Helix mattress. I went home for Christmas and I slept on a non-Helix mattress and I was miserable. I missed my mattress. I'm back on my mattress. I'm loving it. I never want to leave my house again. I wish all mattresses I sleep on for the rest of my life were Helixes.
Well, that's kind of possible if you convince everyone in your life who you visit to get a Helix mattress before you show up.
Also, when it's cold and you don't, when it's cold and you're so comfortable.
If you need to get out of bed in the winter on your Helix mattress, forget it. Cancel the plan. It's not happening.
You don't want to get out. I took my quiz. I got the perfect Helix. I love my Helix. We recommend Helix all the time to people on the podcast and to people in our real life who were like, do you really like Helix that much? And I'm like, yeah, I love my Helix. Buy a Helix. You won't regret it. So go to helixsleep.com/who for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/who for 27% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/who.
I want to be famous.
Did we ever discuss the Bhad Bhabie Alabama Barker feud, or did we cut it?
We never talked about it.
Are you absolutely positive? I don't.
100%. We've never talked about Bhad Bhabie and Alabama Barker's feud, which is now sort of like a rap battle feud. Well, one-sided rap battle feud.
No, it's two-sided. There's two-sided. There's multiple. This is very much you discussing Drake and Kendrick. Me listening to Bhad Bhabie's
literally
diss track against Alabama Barker and Alabama Barker's response diss track against Bhad Bhabie. I actually really like Bhad Bhabie. I think this is really smart for her to go after someone because she's really good at finding plot. I think recently she had cancer or fake cancer or real cancer. I don't know, not for me to say. But she
had a health issue that people were questioning, but it seems like that narrative is now over.
Again,
I don't want to make any assumptions.
No, I don't want to get into that at all, but I'm very much what I do know about Bhad Bhabie is she's great at plot. She's always finding new narrative.
And she has a way with language that should scare anyone off from getting into a fight with her because even if you are correct and If no one could be more objectively correct than the person who's mad at Bhad Bhabie, you should keep that under your hat. You should never actually confront Bhad Bhabie because she's going to come after you with one of the weirdest possible constructions of English, and then you like won't know what to do about it.
Gucci Flip Flop is an amazing song. So she'll never, first of all, her claim to fame,
Catch Me Outside.
How she became famous is incredible. The fact that she spun that into anything at all is incredible. I think she like made millions of dollars on OnlyFans. She was one of the first to do that, other than
she made allegedly
something.
She made allegedly in 1 year recently over $50 million because it's in the video where she's announcing her scholarship program.
Crazy.
So she's like, a lot of y'all know that like I made a lot of money recently, and then they show all these headlines of like Bhad Bhabie makes $50 million on OnlyFans in 2022 or 2023, whatever year it was. She's like, I want to give back. I'm going to give away $1.7 million in scholarships for college. And then she's like, before you say anything, yes, I understand that I never went to college, but still, I want to help people out.
I probably shouldn't say this for this video, but for old time's sake, hey bitches! So it's been a while since I made a video. I've been chilling and staying out the way, but I'm very proud of what I'm about to announce. I'm doing something that everybody loves, which is giving away a lot of money, $1.7 million. This isn't just a giveaway like just handing out money. You actually have to go to school. It's a scholarship. I'm here to announce Bhad Scholarships, which is my $1.7 million scholarship fund with EduCapital.
Danielle Bergoli, also known as Bhad Bhabie, also known as Catch Me Outside Girl, the one who yelled at Dr. Phil in 2016 and then became famous off of that specific moment, is now in a beef with the child of Travis Barker, Alabama Barker, the child that he shares with Shanna Moakler, who he's no longer with.
Well, now he's with Kourtney Kardashian. And Alabama Barker is like kind of often called out for kind of like blackfishing online. She also has kind of like a music career, but is also kind of just doing social media. Just like she's basically just like doing a ton of social media. She does TikTok videos in her PJs often. She's got a very specific look. People say she looks a lot older than she actually is, and that's 18, kind of controversial. Yeah. And then of course, Miss Bhad Bhabie comes out with this diss track and a YouTube where she's got the same wig. She's kind of mocking her look. These two are like perfect for each other. No, it's a perfect feud. It's literally like they're well matched, I have to say.
Bitch, you want my life, you want the dick I get. You want to worship the ground I walk on because you idolize me, bitch. Get it right or don't get it at all. Oh, you mad cause you want him and ain't get nothing, but you love him? This bitch a dummy. Oh, you want him and ain't get nothing? This bitch stupid, thought I was about to get mad and double. This bitch dumb and a slut for no reason, get some money. Talk about me, bitch, you broke.
The feud is over a man, which is...
Well, it always is.
Honestly, so depressing, because that's what this is about. Like, ugh. It's over. Bhad Bhabie is accusing Alabama Barker of trying to steal her ex-boyfriend, Lee Vaughn. And so the first person to release a song was Bhad Bhabie. And then Alabama Barker released a response in the form of a song called... Her song was called Cry Baby, spelled Bhabie, like Bhad Bhabie. But Bhad Bhabie's song was called Overcooked.
And Overcooked, though, came with an iconic, very slither. What was the sheather?
Sheather. It became like, it's very sheather, yes. It's
very sheather, and to me, inspired cover where you've got what looks like a girlie's not formed body, like photoshopped badly into like a pot on a stove.
She's cooking Alabama Barker in a big soup pot.
Overcooked, get it?
Sheather was the feud, and again, like Drake and Kendrick, Sheather was a feud between... or a song that was representative of a feud between Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj. Again, we're talking about like very famous people who are very good at their jobs of rapping. This is like the hooiest possible version of both of those sorts of feuds.
Sure, but I'm kind of like, this is business. They're just creating narrative.
It is business.
They got to, right?
It is business.
And these aren't even good.
This cover art is so disgusting. She's cooking her.
No, but also, and also these aren't even good rhymes too. That's the other thing, is like what they're competing for is not even like who's a better rapper, because they both are not. No one's winning.
Neither of them are good, but I will say, I think Bhad Bhabie wins. I think Bhad Bhabie's song is like better, but that's not saying much, but I think Bhad Bhabie is better at this than Alabama Barker.
Couldn't believe what my eyes seen scrolling up on IG. Can't believe I heard a diss track. This hoe don't like me. Alabama Barker's is more kind of like straightforward, like telling a tale. Overcooked is more just kind of like, shut the hell up.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole.
My life's a movie. Daddy Spike Lee. Travis told me, go and turn up. It's giving hype beast. Like she is saying something, and then Overcooked
I hated
is like,
that line when she brought up Travis, because you know for a fact that Travis was like, leave me out of this. I don't support this. Don't do this. Please don't do this.
Couldn't believe what my eyes seen. Scrolling up on IG. Can't believe I heard a diss track. This hoe don't like me. Dog bitches doing all that barking but won't bite me. I ain't got a little finger if she try to fight me. Yeah, my life a movie, Daddy Spike Lee. Travis told me go and turn up, it's giving hype beast. Smoke the millions like an exercise, so tread lightly. I was out in LV and LV tried to pipe me.
On the other hand, Bhad Bhabie's out here being like, backstabbing ass little bitch, can't wait to crash you, bitch. When I get hands on a bitch, make her look like a brand. And she's just like, I will kill you. Like, it's less creative is what I'm saying.
Yes, I guess I get that.
You know, like it's less creative, though I do think obviously Bhad Bhabie she has a better rhythm.
Cardi was always in that sort of like, the conversation was like, Cardi doesn't write her own music, but it was sort of like, well,
but man,
does that really matter? Because performance-wise, she's like so special. So it doesn't really matter. Why do we care if she writes her own music or not?
Right. And it was more about the performance. It was like, oh my God, like what has an amazing way of performing this song, of singing the song, of rapping the song or whatever. And so I feel like Bhad Bhabie has that same thing. The other thing about Bhad Bhabie is like, you're not going to catch her losing. Like she is at the same time, she is going to have a health controversy, get in a feud. What else is she doing? Get pregnant, break up with the father of her child, have a whole drama with that, whatever. She's also going to literally start a scholarship fund called Bad Scholarships.
I didn't realize this was 2 years old because I didn't know about it at the time.
Me
but
neither.
Like she's doing philanthropy. 2 years ago, she was like, I made $50 million on OnlyFans. I'm going to give $1.7 million of it away.
No, and I spent a long time on this website trying to figure out what the deal was, like if there was a deal. And there
Did it happen?
Well, there is a company behind this called Edu Capital, but they don't
she mentions it in the video.
But they don't seem very, nothing seems wrong with them. They're a 501c3 nonprofit.
Yeah, it seems legit. It seems legit. But also, this is also one of those things where it's like, she announced it. I don't know of anyone. I can't find proof that anyone actually received money from her. But she did announce this thing, and it seems like a good thing.
Okay, hold on. There's a post on Lipstick Alley. I got Bhad Bhabie scholarship, and it is a scam. You fill out all the info, and once you quote win, Educapital contacts you. This is a European country, not Daniel Bergoli. They bizarrely see her as a brand ambassador. This is what they tell you. It's a 2-for-1 scam scholarship to scam school and some kind of all bait and switch student loan to boot. You don't get money to apply to the school you choose. You get this fake scholarship to an unaccredited online school and look at what is and what is not written. The school requires, so it's like, oh my God.
Oh, you have to go to a school of their choosing?
Yes. It's not just like you get money.
Oh no. Yikes.
The school may require the students. Okay, so you have to sign up. You don't know the tuition. So basically you're saying like, I'll go to this school and I'm getting a scholarship, but like I also might owe tuition. But then it's
I'm gonna owe more than that.
Yeah, it's going to end up being.
Okay, of course it was a scam, allegedly. Damn. The point is, she and Alabama Barker are fighting. Who cares about the scholarship at this point? It's 2 years old anyway.
Saying, don't apply for the Bhad Bhabie scholarship.
Don't apply for the Bhad Bhabie scholarship. Thank you for doing the one more Google. I appreciate that.
Do not apply to the Bhad Bhabie scholarship.
I want to be famous.
We're talking about Quince. Wearing my Quince sweater.
Tell me about your Quince sweater. I'll tell you about my Quince sweater. Guess what? It's cashmere. I love it.
Wait, you got a Quince sweater too?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I convinced you to get a Quince sweater? Did you get the same one as me? Like the slouchy, beautiful, big, oversized sweater?
Yeah, I love an oversized sweater. Yep, we got the same sweater. Oops. Let's wear it together.
Wait, I bought it in a new... Do you know I got a new color? I have it in black now and gray.
Oh, I only have it in gray. I can't wear black sweaters. Too much cat hair.
Okay, gross. Anyways, who doesn't love good things in life like cashmere sweaters that you can twin with your friends? Ooh. Quince is the spot for cashmere. People have been coming to me and saying like, what's that place again with the cashmere? And I'm like, it's quince.com. Mm-hmm. It's quince.com.
They offer a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry. By partnering directly with factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes on the savings to us. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/who for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/who to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/who.
I want to be famous.
Arie Luyendyk Jr. reverses his vasectomy. This is the guy who was on The Bachelor.
This guy cracks me up.
He's a race car driver, was on The Bachelor. He chose a woman, then said, never mind, I actually prefer the runner-up woman. Then they got married. That's like the main thing I know about him. He chose the runner-up after choosing the first one.
So he's a race car driver. That's his like main job, right? I don't know if he does that as much anymore. His dad was
He's a real estate broker now.
Well, his dad was an actually famous race car driver. Like his dad was like a big deal. He won in Indianapolis 500 twice. So he is the son of him. They have the same name, which I think is confusing. Obviously, always is confusing. So he's a junior.
Well, it's like Dale Earnhardt.
Right. So his dad is the winner. He's kind of the spin-off Nepo baby loser who also races cars, but now is essentially retired and does real estate based off his name.
So he's still married to the runner-up.
Yes.
Who he chose second.
And a few years ago, I think we covered it. They had this whole thing where he was like, I'm getting a vasectomy. We had twins. 3's too many because they had one and then they had twins. So they were like, okay, we're done at 3. They talked about it on the Ashley I podcast. Remember Ashley I? Where's she at? It's fine. I don't really care. So they talked about her. They talked about it on that podcast. He got headlines. You know, Arie Luyendyk. Is that it? Luyendyk?
I think it's Luyendyk.
Luyendyk.
I think it's just
probably Luyendyk because it's
Luyendyk. Oh yeah,
Dutch.
probably because it's Dutch.
2018 hasn't exactly been a smooth year for Bachelor Arie Luyendyk Jr. First, there was that whole thing where he dumped his fiancée Becca on TV to get back with his runner-up, Lauren.
The more I hung out with you, the more I felt like I was losing the possibility of maybe reconciling things with Lauren.
Luyendyk, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Arie Luyendyk Jr. is getting his vasectomy because he can't be having kids any later than this in life. He was like, I'm 40, I want to be like an active dad, blah, blah, blah. Like it got full coverage. Now, cut to today. Headline, Bachelor alum Arie Luyendyk Jr. gets vasectomy reversal after admitting he, quote, rushed decision. You rarely hear about vasectomy reversals. You rarely heir a vasectomy reversal story. So I appreciate he's like, I want to speak my truth. And it turns out this is just being aggregated from his own, they have a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. They have a life, like a family. Like, look at our big family. They do a lot of YouTube content.
Exactly. Yes. Their last video was called Taking Delivery of Our Cyber Beast. They bought a Cybertruck.
They bought a Cybertruck 5 months ago.
And the other one before that was How We Built Our Lemonade Stand.
It doesn't get big numbers. They each get like 30,000 views. They're not huge by any means.
As you know, I got the vasectomy after the twins were born. And ever since then, I don't know. I think I rushed it. The Bachelor alum 43 added, honestly, it's more on me. Burnham recalled her husband scheduling the vasectomy 6 months after they welcomed their twins. Wow, must have been fun. While he did consult her with it on first, she eventually got on board with his decision. What? That's a confusing sentence. Like, did she want it or whatever?
All our kids are the best age right now, and I just felt like, dang it, I think we can do this again. He watched the Baldwins and said, unsnip it. This looks fun.
If you are questioning having more kids, I feel like if you watch the Baldwins, like that's a great way to just keep the vasectomy.
The Baldwins is good learning experience for like figuring out all the things that you should not do in life. I think
your husband is like, I want to reverse my vasectomy, just turn on TLC the Baldwins and then he will not go for the surgery to reverse the vasectomy, you know?
Como se dice, never mind. You know, like, please.
6 months into us having newborn twins, Arie scheduled his vasectomy without consulting me first. He's like, okay, it's happening. Like, we got to do this. And we did.
Yeah.
I got on board.
And then I kind of remember a moment of like watching Senna and she's like, you know, all of our kids are like the best age right now. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like, dang it, I think we could do this again. And it would be, if we had a singleton, we could totally handle that.
Alan Richardson hates Matt Gaetz. This has been in our doc for a while.
This is funny.
Big-necked actor Alan Richardson, aka the Reacher, who can literally reach me anytime he wants, is actually one of those guys who is always giving a really good soundbite too. Like he doesn't
because you expect him to be
kind of big and dumb,
kind of
like a Hemsworth.
Maybe like, yeah, big and dumb and maybe MAGA, but he's not. He's big and smart and progressive, maybe.
Right. I never expect him to be MAGA though. He's in Hollywood. It's kind of like
the only reason I expect him to be MAGA is because he's in a show that gives cop.
Right, like
that's why.
Right, because you're
Reacher
comparing
isn't a cop,
it,
but
Reacher isn't a cop. Reacher,
I'm comparing it to John Krasinski,
and that guy's an army. But Reacher is kind of he's just big. Is he? He's a bounty hunter. What is he technically?
The thing is, he's a loose cannon more than anything. He doesn't belong to any sort of like structured organization. He's taking care of business in a very agnostic way.
I feel like every time we talk about Jack Reacher, I'm like, what's his job? Okay, what is Jack Reacher's job? Military police. Okay. Oh no, that's Jack Ryan. I'm sorry. In the stories, Jack Reacher was
he's a former U.S. Army military policeman, and he left them, so he's sort of like he has his own ideals.
Okay, so he's anti.
He's anti.
He's pissed. So Alan Ritchson is always giving a surprising soundbite, and by surprising, it's more like he's always talking about progressive politics or like saying something, kind of smart, and everyone's like, "Wait, you're huge and you're smart. That's incredible." And this time, it came up somehow that he went to school. He went to high school, college, with Matt Gaetz.
High school with Matt Gaetz. He was like, we were high school enemies.
And he immediately is like, that motherfucker, we are adversaries. He is my enemy.
You're quoting him. That is a quote. We are adversaries.
Quote, it is shocking to me. I could play the clip too, right? Is this the clip? No, this isn't a profile. Quote, it is shocking to me that the panhandle of Florida continues to vote for somebody knowing everything we know about him and the promises he's made behind closed doors about pardoning certain criminals. He's just not a good dude. There's a part of me that wants to get into politics to outdo somebody like him for good. Oh my God, do it. And there's a part of me that's like, I'm not duplicitous enough to succeed in politics. There are certain people that do a good job of staying true to who they are, but they're ineffective. I think Bernie Sanders is a hero, but like, what's he accomplished? Oh, not calling out Bernie.
That motherfucker, we are adversaries. They were in the same, the thing is they were in the same debate club.
Yeah.
And so they did like extracurricular activities together, and I guess they were competing in things, and he was like, that guy fucking sucks, and I hated his ass, and I still hate his ass, and he sucks.
I don't think it's a coincidence that from that same classroom, that same team, where one springs up somebody hell-bent on overthrowing democracy, on calling people to bear arms against one another, especially those that think differently, who want to murder those who want to silence an oppressor. From one room can come somebody like that. And from the same room, I feel like God produces somebody who wants to stand up to those kind of oppressive individuals, to put a stop to people like Matt Gaetz, who, with smooth words, can lead people with their ambitions right towards something that looks a little bit like hell, which is exactly what I think happened on January 6th. And I think there's some scriptural basis to that thesis as well.
Don't forget, Alan Ritchson, not as tall as you think. We talked about this.
Well, according to that one person.
No, but we trust that. We thought he was huge. He's less huge than we thought. Tall. He's
the GQ
wide.
profile of him is headlined, "Can Reacher's Alan Ritchson get any bigger?" Great.
That's good. Love that.
Enough about the big neck. Let's talk about relationships. Do you believe this?
Yes. Do I believe this? Like, do I believe it like wow, or do I believe it like, do I actually believe it?
Do you actually believe it? Because Andrew Garfield is often very cagey about who he is or is not dating. But this couple makes sense to me.
First of all, I believe this because these two have probably like been hanging out via award circuit. Although as Andrew Garfield, even in the award circuit, he's not like nominated for anything. But he was at one point.
He wasn't nominated for something, but he was doing awards circuit stuff this year for that movie. But he didn't get nominated.
But then it kind of fell off. No, but I'm saying he was in that realm for a little bit and then fell off. So there's a very good chance that him and Monica Barbaro were kind of hanging out in the same awardsy circuit
Spaces.
For a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
No, I think so. Andrew Garfield is apparently quietly dating Monica Barbaro, which I think is kind of a great match, a great pair.
People has reached out to both of their publicists to see if this rumor is true, because the rumor is that they've been low key and spending time together quietly. That's a quote. Their reps did not write back, which I'm not surprised by.
Well, he never comments on anything. He'll never comment on anything.
He never says shit.
He'll never comment
never
on
says
anything.
shit.
And she last was like is she dating Tom Cruise realm of actresses because of Top Gun or whatever? And she was like, and I think she was like, no, but not as loudly as other actresses have said.
Well,
no.
the funniest one is Vanessa Kirby.
Well, the funniest one was the girl who was like, I'm a lesbian.
Oh, right.
You forgot that already.
Yeah.
The funniest one was like, I'm gay, so I'm not dating him. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, no thanks.
But yeah, so Monica was put in that. I think any woman who's in a movie with Tom Cruise, everyone's like, they could be dating, and his people are like, they could be. We don't know. So
we're not going to say anything.
This feels more likely. It feels more likely. They posed together at W Magazine's annual Best Performances party in Los Angeles on January 4th, alongside Eddie Redmayne and Lynn Hirschberg. So it wasn't like they were in the photo by themselves. They just were.
Right.
Oh, they were spotted sitting side by side in the audience during a performance of Richard II, starring Jonathan Bailey. All right.
Yeah, but if they were going as friends of Jonathan Bailey, it's not necessarily romantic, you know?
No, well, they might have just been both invited on the same night.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, something a little bit more telling. Although, actually, I find this to be less telling. Never mind. TMZ is reporting that Sydney Sweeney and her fiance, some guy named Jonathan, are postponing their wedding.
And he's older than she is. And everyone hates him because Sydney Sweeney, hot young it girl, dating kind of a random guy and not another like hot young hunk. And I think people have been frustrated by this. The fact that she's like partnered up with this boring guy.
Well, I'm
engaged.
almost like taking the kind of like contrarian take to this, where people are so angry that Sydney Sweeney dared to date an older guy that is not famous or something, and how dare she get married so young, when it's like, remember the Sydney Sweeney MAGA family drama? She wants to marry young because like that's how she grew up. Like that's, to me, it's all kind of connected.
Her family gives traditional.
Don't you think? Like, to me, it feels very like maybe like this is kind of part of her. I don't know. We always whatever. We want our bombshells to remain single as long as possible. I think that want.
And they have been together for like almost 10 years. They've been together since 2015.
And people thought they were going to break up because what people really wanted was her to actually be dating Glen Powell, which was like an incredible. I mean, one of the most incredibly successful shticks to get that movie to make a ton of money and be so successful, truly.
And I called him a producer, but he's really just a rich guy from like a family that has like a business. And
he's not really. Yeah, he's also just not interesting, and also he's not in the public eye. They wanted her with the famous actor.
And Glen Powell, speaking of Glen Powell, is not dating Sydney Sweeney, but he is rumored to be maybe dating or canoodling with, at least photographed canoodling with, Lily James, his co-star in 2018's iconic literary adaptation, The Guernsey Literary Potato Peel
Society.
Yes. Potato Peel Pie Society.
I have to say,
it's a good movie.
If it was anyone else other than Lily James, I would not believe it. But because it's Lily James, they're dating. They're hooking up for sure.
And like the quotes evidence of this is that they're leaving like a BAFTA party in a car, and they were photographed like laughing next to each other in seats. But I'm sorry, you don't sit next to Glen Powell and not behave exactly like Lily James is behaving in these photos, whether or not you're fucking him.
Also, Lily James, who caused the split of who caused Dominic West's wife to have a press release. Yes, how could you forget?
In front of the house?
Yes.
The castle?
Yes. Like, she's iconic. She's a homewrecker. Iconic homewrecker.
What did the note say? I have to find the note.
It said like, we're happy or something.
The note, they wrote a note that they handed out to photographers in front of their house that read, "Our marriage is strong and we're very much still together."
Yeah, truly. After paparazzi caught him and her like gallivanting around Rome or whatever.
Well, and those photos were his hands were all over her. Like they were making out on the street.
No, it was the realest thing ever.
It was like they were like truly smooching and canoodling.
Yes.
This is just sort of like he said something flirty and then she laughed and the cameras caught it.
That's what I'm saying.
Our marriage is strong and we're still very much together.
That's why when I see these photos, I'm kind of like, oh, she's working her way. She's working her way in.
She's back. I like her.
Yeah, I like her too. But I like her
white
too.
girls that are sort of
she's fun.
Of the like British white girls who are sort of like amorphous, I think she's my favorite one. She's a Mamma Mia, here we go again. Like, what's not to like?
Sure, totally.
I'm a fan of Lily James.
She was Peggy. She was Peggy Pigott in The Dig. You watch The Dig? I did.
I didn't watch The Dig.
It was kind of good.
Last week, we talked about the paparazzi
I
shots
didn't
of
even
Zoe
see
Kravitz
this.
wandering around with Noah Centineo.
Damn, Chan is already reportedly dating someone else. Yeah.
Chan found someone new and young too.
Maybe.
And that person is Inka Williams. The Daily Mail said they're dating and they referred to her specifically as his Aussie girlfriend.
According to Demois, the brunette is around 25 years old and about half his height. Okay.
Thank you, Demois.
I like both of those are about. She's vaguely 25 and vaguely half his height.
She's also a, quote, brunette beauty who was born in Melbourne and raised in Bali.
Okay, she's a model.
She's a model.
Yeah.
She's a model.
All right.
Yeah. She has a lot of followers on Instagram, though.
They're holding hands down under? Oh, no, they're holding hands in Santa Monica proper hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are holding hands. It's not just like they're walking. Like not Channing Tatum. Zoe Kravitz and Noah Centineo were not captured holding hands or doing anything.
No, they were just
vaguely
walking
romantic.
next to each other.
This is hand holding.
They were just leaving or arriving to Joy Face next to each other. There was literally
Yes.
no evidence or any sort of implication aside from hours that they were dating. But I just wanted her to have found the next hunk. I'm like, great, perfect for her. Happy for her. All right, this is the most mind-boggling headline I've seen in a long time.
Why are we finding out about this now?
Jeremy Renner, 54, quietly dated influencer Cece Mason, 26, while recovering from snowplow accident.
Remember when he almost died a couple years ago?
Remember,
And it took him forever to recover?
Yeah. Remember when he had an app that was just only him and he updated it? Remember when he was literally almost killed by a snowplow that he hit himself with? He hit himself with his own snowplow. His story is absolutely wild.
We would be a better society, culture, humanity if there were no social media except the Jeremy Renner app.
I agree, and it's shout out to that.
We'd
and
be
it's
a
long
happier-
gone. And it's
happier
long
people.
It's long gone. It's already done. He couldn't handle being almost murdered by his own snowplow and running an app, which I totally understand. It's either one or the other.
So when his snowplow ran over him in 2023 and he was recovering, he allegedly dated this influencer named Cece Mason, but no one found out about it until like years later after they'd already broken up. And for some reason, Page 6 is like, you'll never believe who Jeremy Renner dated 2 years ago while recovering from his snowplow accident. That's right. Younger influencer Cece Mason.
We're told Renner's bad boy reputation was a point of concern for Mason. He was literally injured beyond whatever. But
He was incapacitated.
But she decided to give him a chance and found him to be sweet. She also found him to be incapacitated. He was in a bed. Like, that's crazy.
I'm sure Jeremy Renner's a good hang when he's in a hospital bed, like not able to do much.
She's like, he's literally in a hospital bed, unresponsive. She's like, I've been told you're a bad boy, but seems like we could make this work.
Seems like you're kinda sweet.
He's literally like, he's literally completely silent and like bandaged.
She's like, you're a good listener. He's such a good listener.
I'm sorry. This is the most ridiculous.
He's been in a medically induced coma for months, but like he's so sweet.
Mom, I finally found a man who will listen to me. He's mature, but you know.
No, I'm being glib. They dated even after he was done recovering because the story does say that like they continued their on and off relationship when he was already filming the third Knives Out movie. So like he was out of the hospital when they were dating, but it is over. I just find it weird that like suddenly Page 6 is like, this happened a while ago, by the way.
Yeah.
And you never knew about it.
It's the most insane.
Because there's no peg at all. There's no like, oh, they were spotted getting dinner. You may, and they're just friends now. You may not remember, but this is some breaking news. There's no reason for this to happen.
It's really, really just for us. It's really, really just for us it's just for us. It's just for Who Weekly.
Influencer in the like model way where it's like she has under a million followers,
She
but
looks like
it's,
AI.
it's model photos, and it's also because she's an influencer. Everything about her is like she also partners with brands on her Instagram.
No, she gives AI. No, she gives AI. You know, like it's M3gan.
It's a
like,
little M3gan.
She's posting with like, you know, beautiful sculpted abs, and the caption is like, fitness journeys come in every shape and size. Some people's goal is muscle mass, while others is a lean look. The thing that matters at the end is not how you look, but how you feel physically or mentally. Does your journey bring you a sense of well-being and as accomplishment, or does it create undue stress and tension in your life? Stay healthy and love your. It's like ChatGPT.
Sammi Sweetheart is pregnant with her first child.
I'm so happy for her.
I got so nervous because I knew she was dating
You
this
thought it
other
was
guy.
Ronnie's baby? What you thought?
Well,
No,
yes, because I knew she was dating this other guy,
No,
Justin May.
stop.
But when I clicked the photo, when I was searching like Sammi Sweetheart pregnant, the photo small, that guy Justin May that she's been with, and
Yeah.
they're engaged.
He looks like Ron.
like Ronnie. he looks like Ronnie.
Okay, but as you know, you saw Jersey Shore, the original season. She has a type, and it's juiced up.
A gorilla.
It's juiced up gorilla. She's since the beginning. Sammi has said that when she saw Ronnie, she said,
I love gorillas.
That man is my type.
I am looking to break a lot of hearts and to get with a lot of good, hot, sexy Guidos. Your number one mission is to go out and find the hottest Guido and take him home.
But you know what's great about Sammi Sweetheart is that
what
they've
What's great?
All the Jersey Shore people have kind of like succumbed to kind of just being whatever, boring. Yeah, and they're just not like, yeah, they're old and they're kind of just like whatever. The thing about Sammi is that she has always held strong and fast that she would never get back with Ronnie, and she never did. Like, she could have done it.
That's true.
They could have done it for the shtick, like multiple times, try to fool us, whatever. But she was like,
showmance.
She was like, that man fucked me up so bad that even if it would make me $1 million, I wouldn't get back with him, even fake. You know?
Yeah,
I appreciate.
So
that.
You respect that?
I do. I feel like that's something that she really stood by. The fact that she hates his ass.
That she hates his ass. I mean, he has some extremely dark energy.
So she's pregnant. Is she? Are all the Jersey Shore women moms and everyone has everyone has a kid now.
JWoww has kids.
Yeah.
Snooki has kids. Sammi has kids. Angelina does Angelina have kids?
She doesn't count.
Hello.
She barely counts. No. Okay, you're right. She does count. She has some kids.
Hello? Are you bitch? They're taking their underwear off in the jacuzzi. Are you dumb? Hello? That's classy? No. Shut up.
No, there's no reason shut up, because this is my house too.
Don't open your mouth then.
She doesn't have kids.
No, she definitely doesn't have kids. No. I think she's on her like third divorce. She
has, quote, considered having children with her ex-husband and her fiance, but she doesn't. Okay.
Winnie Harlow's engaged to Kyle Kuzma. They're kind of like a it couple.
They're a power couple. They've been together for a long time, like, I don't know, 4 years-ish, 3-4 years. And now they're finally engaged. They got engaged in Turks and Caicos. The reminder that, like, Winnie Harlow really is one of our...
most successful from America's Next Top Model?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think
biggest.
Bar none, the most successful America's Next Top Model contestant.
For sure, yeah.
And also has so many famous friends. Like, Winnie Harlow always shows up to everything because everyone knows Winnie Harlow and people like having Winnie Harlow around. So when Winnie Harlow said, I'm engaged...
even though
like
she's apparently a bitch. Remember the stories about Winnie Harlow.
People love to call in and be like, we hate Winnie Harlow. And I'm like, actually, relax. This isn't a walk. But
okay, well.
We have so many famous people are in the comments being like, congrats.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
Basketball player. Don't know much about Kyle Kuzma.
He's
very successful basketball player.
Rich, good. I think he's good at it. I think he's good at basketball.
I think he's allegedly quite good.
All right. Good for them. They got married. Yeah. They got engaged in Turks and Caicos. Called off engagement. This is crazy. I'm sorry. This is crazy. Did you read this?
I only read what you put in here, but they've been engaged for 7 years. Kid Rock and Audrey Berry.
Kid Rock was spotted, quote, hanging out with Representative Lauren Boebert.
Because now Kid Rock is like always at the White House or like Mar-a-Lago. He's like always like palling around with those people.
Yeah, well, because he's been straight MAGA for years and years and years, and totally irrelevant.
And now he was spotted getting into a taxi with Lauren Boebert at 2:30 in the morning a.m. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's proof of something heinous.
It's funny. It's like you didn't think the vibes could get any darker, and yet getting in a taxi with her at 2:30 in the morning is darker.
It could be said to death, like how horrendous every policy coming out of Washington, D.C. is right now, and how like horrifying and like awful it is for so many people. But it's like, the cherry on top, the most disgusting rancid cherry on top is that like also these people are like so aesthetically displeasing and disgusting that like, oh.
Yeah, no. And I have to say, I really have felt I don't think anyone really felt Kid Rock was a huge loss to like their culture. Like being like, oh no, Kid Rock sucks. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like who cares? You know, there's so many people that I feel like when they go MAGA, you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. Them. Like, oh, like, that sucks. I maybe had a suspicion, but that does suck. Kid Rock, I was like, go with God. Like, get the fuck out. Like, no one cared.
Let's go back to, like, other aughts singers. Just one story ahead. No. Cassie. If Cassie were like...
devastating.
Thank you, President Trump.
Devastating.
You'd be like, what? No.
I'd be like, girl, come on. What are you doing? No, Kid Rock, I feel like, especially as a TRL millennial, which I think you can categorize yourself as well. I think he was a really big part of that generation's culture, our culture.
But we weren't expecting much from him.
No, not at all. And I think if anything, it's just, but not only like you could expect this, it doesn't even matter whether you could guess. It's just like he wasn't like a character who anyone really cared about anyways, or like had much fondness for anyways. Like Ball with the Ball, give me a break. That song kind of sucks. Cameron Dallas, literally a Vine star, which just shows how we're old. He is pregnant. His
girlfriend is pregnant.
IG model girlfriend pregnant.
Her name is Madisyn, spelled in a way I've never seen before. Madisyn.
Like Libsyn. Sorry, that's weird to say.
Libsyn.
Like that's an RSS feeder for podcasts. Madisyn. Wait, that's crazy. This is spelled in a way that is absolutely.
I've never seen it like that. I've never seen Madisyn spelled like that.
What is that even? That has no origin. It's like just letters. It's keyboard smash name.
And if you're like, who is Madisyn Menchaca? The answer is a Los Angeles-based model. That's like every outlet just refers to her as either a model or a Los Angeles-based model.
She's not even the first person on Famous Birthdays named Madisyn. Who's number one on named Madisyn?
Who's number one?
Madisyn Shipman, 22. She's a TV actress.
Ne-Yo is polyamorous. He has 3 girlfriends.
That's fun. If you're going to date multiple women, be poly, sure.
So he posted, this did make me laugh. He posted on his Instagram story, Ne-Yo, we don't approve of your poly relationship. But then underneath, he's wearing a shirt that says, fun fact, I don't care.
I'm like,
okay.
So many of these guys are cheating on their wives anyways. Might as well make a poly. Go poly.
Might as well be ethically non-monogamous. That's fine. Brianna joins Ne-Yo existing girlfriends, OnlyFans model Bella and Phoenix Feather, and party girl Ariel Hill. I don't know that I've seen a descriptor of a person as just party girl in a very long time. That's very 90s. That's vintage.
Party girl.
They don't even call her an influencer. They just say
party girl.
Party girl. Or
right.
socialite.
Party girl and socialite have fallen away as descriptors for the use of just saying somebody is an influencer. Influencer became this kind of like umbrella term. I want to be just a party girl, not an influencer. Okay.
Who was party girl? Oh, Parker Posey, party girl.
Duh.
Iconically party girl.
The OG party girl. All right, let's go to the actual party girl, Rita Ora.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the number one Who. Lindsay Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman?
Not much Rita news, but the stuff we have is huge. Huge. There's only two things, but they're humongous.
Okay.
One is that she's performing at World Pride in DC. I'm going to take the megabus down to DC and go see Jennifer Lopez, Troye Sivan, Grimes, and Rita Ora.
All right.
And Tinashe.
Here's my impression of Bobby taking the megabus to the World Pride Music Festival. When does this leave? I'm getting back. When's the megabus back to New York?
I used to take the megabus all the time, and it really was like, I was always the first one there at like 5 a.m. I'm like, when's it showing up? One time I was waiting for the megabus in New York, and it was like 5 a.m. on that pickup on like Grand Street downtown. And Keanu Reeves walked by me, and I was like, slay.
Huge slay.
Yeah. So Rita Ora is, if you're wondering, okay, it's a music festival. That means you have a font hierarchy. Which tier is Rita Ora on? Is it the first, second, third, or fourth? She's on, guess, the second. She's second tier.
I think that is completely valid.
That's huge.
She's
That's
weirdly
very valid, and it's huge.
Below Paris Hilton. You know what? They're all the same. I think they're all
it's
the
alphabetical.
Same.
She's in the same tier as Paris Hilton, but it's alphabetical.
She's in the same tier as Tinashe. Makes complete sense. I love it.
So it's the people at the top. The only 2 big names are Jennifer Lopez and Troye Sivan. Then the second tier are Galantis, Grimes, Kim Petras, Marina, Paris Hilton, Purple Disco Machine, Ray, Rita Ora, RuPaul, Sophie Tucker, and Tinashe.
Third tier, you've got Betty Who, Trisha Paytas, Sasha Colby, Slater.
And Slater.
Fourth tier, Leland. I'm like, does anyone else I know on this list? No.
I don't really know. Ty Sunderland, the DJ. I don't really know.
Oh my God.
People.
With the closing set by number one ally, Zed, your fave.
Zed. But I said there were two big things. Rita is doing, Rita loves phone chains and like phone accessories and beads. She's doing something I've never seen before. She's wearing the AirPods Max with all of these like accessories like super glued to the side of them.
Are they super glued? They're stickers.
She's so silly.
They're stickers.
She's so silly. Rita loves whimsy.
Yeah, she is very kawaii.
Okay, we're done. Thank you for listening to another episode of Who Weekly. Call in at 619-WHO-THEM to leave questions, comments, and concerns for our Friday show. Support us on patreon.com/WhoWeekly for bonus episodes, a Discord server, commentary tracks, and more. You can also get the audio only on Apple Podcasts. If you subscribe this week, you'll get our conversation about the Oscars. It's an all Oscars episode releasing a little early this week, so you can listen to it in time for the Oscars. We're making ballots for you. We're making menus, so many PDFs to print, a very long newsletter to read about the Oscars and get prepped for your big parties on Sunday. We have stuff all the time. Thank you to Katie and Eric of The Who's for providing our Read a theme song on Tuesdays. Thank you to Timmy, our research and editorial assistant, for researching and editorializing. And we'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye.
You will, Jayla.
Yeah.